Technology that everybody is talking about. Everywhere in the newspaper is written, and how does this affect our everyday life very soon from each and everybody here and all over the world. You will see. In the second part of my presentation, I share with you the vision Hubert mentioned already. When we met 1.5 years ago, we had a few ideas and instantly created this unbelievable vision and idea where we want to go with this technology. And we really find the right words to call it a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And once we've done, you will understand why. So 1.5 years ago, we instantly created a company because we wanted to make this idea, this vision we've created, come true. Based in Crypto Valley, Switzerland, where the hotspot in the fintech world for cryptocurrencies emerged in the last 4 or 5 years. We founded this company, and we're partnering there with Crypto Valley Association, with Ethereum Alliance, much more like Microsoft and different agencies like tax advisors, legal departments, and also, of course, marketing and much more. So this is only, I think now 11 and 12 months ago, we started to create a bigger ecosystem out of that one first company. The next step was that we found our core developers team, which is now based in Vienna, in the Millennium Tower. We're searching for tough developers there. It would be a pleasure if you look on our website. We still look employees, so if you want to join us, it would be great. We need all the help we can get because we need to take this chance very serious. And we founded another company, which is Cryptix Holding. And Cryptix Holding is some kind of incubator, some kind of accelerator for businesses we need for this ecosystem. And when I'm talking about ecosystem, I'll share with you later why this is so important. And here you see the team behind us, which is only the core management team that is making sure that we all are following this unbelievable great vision on the right way. Because as Hubert also mentioned, it's very important that we're doing it the right way. Then it has a real huge impact. No gaming, no fun, very serious. So I'm very proud about this team. This is the core team. Of course, we have much more people working for us, about 40 to 50 already now. And this will increase very fast. So the next thing we will bring alive is for you guys to get started. What is cryptocurrency about? What is blockchain about? It's a blog, which is called B3C, and we will send you a newsletter from Lyconet where you see when it's live, and there are 3 sections on it. The first is the getting started section, basic information, to understand what are we doing. The second section will be getting educated. Getting educated is that important because you shall bring the news to the people out there in the markets. You should give them the chance that they have and take this opportunity very serious. So we will provide material for you as well. And of course we will use iTime as a communication tool connected with the blog very soon. So the third section we will have there is getting coded. Maybe it's too much in depth because there it comes to code, but if someone likes to know how we are doing this, what are we researching, and what are we really developing, which kind of ideas, and how we've done it, and wants to prove that our work is good, we will also have a section there for those people. So it's very important for us to be transparent. This is one part of the thing, what we mean when we say we have to do it the right way. So what are we doing? I just want you to understand that Cryptix is some kind of full service provider for this ecosystem. Okay? So all these companies mentioned before, we're creating the strategies until we deliver the software. So we're all, let me say, one-stop shop for this ecosystem. Of course we need a lot of partners, of course we need you, but this is how you should see what we are doing. And Our biggest target group is also one of yours, one of your partners. These are the SMEs. And this is really a huge part of our idea. It's very important for us because normally when a new idea rises, a new industry is rising up, these new chances are always taken away from the big multinational companies. Because they have more power, more money, more knowledge, more time, they have research departments, whatever needed, that they can develop solutions based on a new idea. Our SMEs are those who are making sure that our people have jobs out there. Because altogether, 97% of all companies worldwide are SMEs. And they are paying taxes on a local basis. So they have a real huge, let me say, impact to our society, to local communities. They stabilize the world. Remember this. And this is what makes it work and what makes it worth for us to work with them and to do what we are doing. So this is very important. And now I'm coming to the technical part, but I will not show you how I technically work, more in use cases so that you really understand how this will affect each other's lives. And that you understand why people are saying this is as significant as the invention of the internet was 25 years ago. So, first of all, I want you to understand that you might have heard about blockchain technologies and cryptocurrencies and so on. But blockchain is the technology lying beyond or beneath, building the platform, the basis for cryptocurrencies. So, it's not the same. A cryptocurrency must not have a real blockchain. You can do it another way. Digital money is made without blockchains, for example. So I really want you to understand that the technology what we're talking about is blockchain, and cryptocurrencies are just an application. And today I want to show you 3 examples why a blockchain makes the difference behind a cryptocurrency. So what does this blockchain bring to us? Because it's unchangeable, it's distributed, and it's public. Security, trust, and transparency is brought to us. So it's not just a database, we have databases since decades. This is an open database that brings us values. Values such as security, trust, and transparency. And because this comes with the technology, this is what makes cryptocurrencies now work much better, and what will make e-credits work much better. So at the end, a first example what will affect you directly in your daily life is how bank transactions work. And traditional bank transactions work like this. You send your money through your bank, through intermediaries bank, and if it's an abroad transaction, even you need more intermediary banks, and finally it arrives at the receiver's bank. So a lot of intermediaries, everybody needs time to transfer the money through, and everyone wants to charge, and finally it costs much and consumes a lot of time. This has grown since the last 30, 40 or more years. Okay? So we need to rethink it. And here you see the first thing what e-credits makes different. Because we have this open ledger, we don't need an intermediary who we have to trust. Because the blockchain is delivering the trust to us. So we can send directly from sender to receiver within less than 2 seconds the full amount and at nearly no cost. That's a huge difference. That's really cool. But not just this, okay? Let's talk about identity hijacking. You might have heard that someone else, maybe the internet or a retail shop, doesn't matter, this happens everywhere. Says that here's you and you buy something and you get the bills and it's fraud happening out there. So we call it identity hijacking. Especially in the internet, this happens very often because it's much easier to do. And there are applications, also applications built on top of a blockchain that's called some kind of, for example, I have an application, it's called U-Port ID. Coming from my government, local government, I'm living in Switzerland, in Zug, and they gave me this ID. And because I'm in possession of this ID, I can always prove that it's me. And all the companies that get now connected on a daily basis to this kind of ID provider in the background, they really know if they can trust me or not. So this will help to automate a lot of things. Even if your car just wants to connect to a power block, it doesn't have to ask permission because it's really clear to whom the bill has to be sent. So this is also very interesting. And if you have such kind of idea in the future, for example, land registries can be built faster, cheaper, because they are public, visibly. You don't need that much time to share people who is owning which property, for example. And normally, you need a notary or a witness who takes care if you sell a property, land, or a flat somewhere to someone else or want to buy it. A witness has to be there who says or takes care that everybody gets what he deserves. So only if you pay the money, he sends it forward, he just touches his fees, sends it forward to the receiver, and then makes the changes in the land registry. These things can also be automated. And Sweden, since more than 1 year now, they're testing it already very, very well. And they further developed this solution. And in March this year, they announced they will fully integrate it this year, until the end of this year. So, for example, Russia is working on that. A lot of third world countries are working on that. And also Georgia has already done it. So, for example, this is already here. And what happens is another value coming through a blockchain, another benefit for us. Because corruption has no chance. You might have heard about stories where someone buys some flat somewhere abroad in Africa, for example, okay? Then he travels there and he paid 80,000 for something, and it's not there. The flat does not exist. So this will not be happening anymore in the future. And these are just a few examples for you that you understand how this will affect our all lives. And it doesn't matter what you're thinking about Bitcoin, okay? In the media they're writing a lot of different stuff. Don't matter. Just think about one thing. Bitcoin has brought us, back in 2008, they started it. In 2008 we had this world crisis, if you remember, financial crisis. And there was some guy or girl, we don't know exactly, maybe a group of people, they've launched Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is definitely not the best option we have for daily life transactions, of course. Bitcoin has different good things and values bringing with him. But for daily life it's not usable at the moment. Maybe it will work in the future. But Bitcoin has brought us this blockchain technology. This is what we all have to think about. No matter if you like it or not, it brought us the technology because of the crisis, because of some people want to prevent that this can happen in the future again. It will take years, and of course Bitcoin is now 10 years old, and today we will do a lot of things different, but we need to further develop it, we need to follow this idea, and we need to create it until it's really, really working. And this is exactly what we want to do, and where we're at the middle of with e-credits. So, one example for the opportunities for you here is if you look at the merchants that are accepting Bitcoins and providing goods instead, or services instead. If you look at a website called CoinMap.org, it shows that there are about 12,000, maybe 13,000 already points of acceptance out there. And Coinbase is, and this is after 10 years, if you think about Bitcoin, 12,000 or 13,000. And if you look at Coinbase, it's an online payment provider, providing payment services to online shops. with a bunch of different cryptocurrencies. They claim that they have about 50,000 clients. So you guys have 350,000 merchants in your network using your solutions, like cashback, like loyalty system, and white labeling, and all these very wonderful things. And now just think about if you can turn 1 out of 10, so 10% of these 360,000 merchants into a point of acceptance for e-credits. What do you think? You have 3 times as much as Bitcoin has after 10 years. Do you think that this is worth to go after? I really believe. And now, that's why we've created this e-credits vision. And I'm coming to it, okay? If you look at the benefits for the merchants, these are great, very easy to communicate, okay? You lower your cost, you get instant money, fake money is not possible, you get access to a future market, and it does not cost you something, it costs you less than you pay today, and way much more less. So we will share with you figures later on that you'll get a concrete picture of how much this is. But thinking about a merchant that's collecting for a credit card 100,000 euros a year, paying 2% of fees, it costs him about 2,000 euros, okay, this payment. And through e-credits, it will cost him per transaction a few euro cents, not percentages. So we are talking about 1 or 2 or 3% from that what he's paying now. So they are wiped away. And Hubert will tell you more about how we can also give them much more benefits from so-called mining, very secret, you will see. But before we can do this with our merchants, we need to overcome a few issues you might have heard about, definitely in the media. Cryptocurrencies have a scalability issue. They have an energy consumption issue. I'll show you in the next slides then. And they have these points of acceptances we've already talked about. You cannot survive by using only cryptocurrencies because you cannot consume all you need through those today. And the price stability issue is very, very drastically. Do you think it's okay for a merchant to take the risk that if he collects in the morning some Bitcoin or whatever for a coffee he has sold and he doesn't know what it's worth in the afternoon? Definitely not. It's not good that he has to take the risk because, as said before, those merchants are very important for us, are very important for our children, for the stability of our whole society. So we have to take care. We have to find a solution for that. Now we are following 3 different ways to prevent from that. And we are doing research and we are really far developed already. And we'll definitely sure that we will solve this problem in the next month. The next thing is the merchant liquidity issue. Only to mention very short, if you collect, for example, Dash, Lyconet, Ethereum, whatever, you have to pay your supply chain. You have to pay taxes, your employees, your supplier, your wholesaler. And you can't do this with Lyconet, for example, at the moment. Almost not. And so you have to be able to change it whenever you need it at a very low risk. So this is also an issue we are dealing with and the problem that we will solve. And another thing that was very important for Hubert and me is the imbalance between privacy and transparency right now. The illegal misuse of cryptocurrencies, what you can read in the newspapers, is huge. It's really huge. And they're argumenting it with human rights. Okay, you have to take care, you must make it really private, and because it's a human right. But on the other side, I say, or I would think about, isn't it a human right that there are no weapons sold in the dark web, that there are no blackmailings possible through ransomware collecting whatever cryptocurrency? We see this also as a human right. So we have to find a balancing in between of this transparency and privacy issue. This is also something we will have solved in a few months and we are already testing it. So the scalability issue is, for example, only compared because it's a very old protocol they are using and the way it is working. A beacon compared to a Visa card can only do 7 transactions per second. These numbers were taken from a report which was made a few months ago, and compared to a Visa card, it can do thousands more. So this will not work in a daily life. It's just an example. And what you've definitely also heard about is the energy consumption of cryptocurrencies in the newspaper, for example, in the media. If we compare it to Czech Republic, where we are right now, I searched for these numbers and I was really wondering, it equals what a whole country, Czech Republic, consumed the same like Bitcoin needs that he is running. So this is also something, nature and polluting nature, we have really to take care. We sum all these things up into our vision. We want to overcome these issues, and we really found a strategy how to do this. And now I will show you a few topics we need to do are to build up an ecosystem. We cannot just build up a cryptocurrency. We need to fully integrate it into our daily lives. Therefore, we need much more than a cryptocurrency or a blockchain. I'll tell you later. And we have this liquidity issue. It has to be highly liquid. We want to open the market to all the Bitcoin co-holders, and our currency needs to be able to be traded against every currency without any risk. So this is part of our vision too. And we need to have this balancing, as mentioned, between privacy and transparency, so that we are making sure that human rights are not followed. So at the end, one very important thing comes up. We found a way to not run this currency as a commercial product. We said it needs to be a public good, and therefore we are founding a foundation. At the 8th August 2018, this year, which is, by the way, the job of the foundation will not be to prevent from paying taxes, definitely not. But it will make sure that we have a future-proof coin that follows our rules and our vision without taking care about the commercial goals normally a company has to do. So this is very important. This is, if we've done it, this will be a currency that belongs to the people. And if we sum it up in one sentence, in 2019, we will let you know more, we will be able to achieve something very cool. This will be the first cryptocurrency for everyday use that belongs to the people. We really, really, really love these thoughts. It's a very great opportunity. It's really a once-in-a-lifetime chance. And we're really pushing hard. As mentioned, we've just started a year ago, 1.5 years with the idea. The company is now running since a year. And all the things we've developed, the strategy and all the research we've done and all what we've seen in the market, it is a way that when we combine to one solution that will solve so many problems and will give so much benefits to humanity. So we really push hard. And to prove that, I would like to show you a small video of our wallet, which we've already developed, and you will be the ones who can test it. But not today, very soon, because first we have all these kind of testings to do, but here in the video you will see what this will give to you. And you will be the first of all who can test it and who can use it and learn how this all works without any risk. And then you can go out in the middle or at the end of next year to prove to other people that this works. And so I would like Robert to play the video now. Thank you. on my mobile phone and I prove to your leaders, to your presidents that it is working. So, but remember again, it's not in the app stores right now. We take this very serious. It's a very important project for us. We will not go live before it's definitely done. So, finally, a few more figures for you. First of all, I did some research and I could not believe what I saw. In 2017, 2.5 billion of all households worldwide were not having access to any financial services or any banking services. They had to interact in 2017, and I couldn't believe, only based on cash, 2.5 billion households. So they had to meet in person to get a deal done, for example, based on cash only. So, and on the other hand, of those 4 billion, and now it's a little bit more than 4 billion people that we have already in the internet all over the world, only a little bit more than 1 billion of those have also access to financial services in the internet. And we can bring it to the other 3 billion. This is a huge opportunity. We all together, this market is huge. And can you imagine what this means to all those people out there? They get through such an app you've seen here on a $20 to $30 Android smartphone, which is very cheap, available everywhere. A banking app on their phone with nearly no cost, and they can interact with everybody on the world within seconds. It's a whole new market, a whole new chance for so many people out there. So I'm really proud of that. And I would like to thank you very much to have this opportunity working with you today.